So let's move on to the issue of whether social media influencers or journalists are actually the one who controls the public narrative now. I've seen recent cases where misinformation from social media influencers overshadowed credible journalism. So this brought the question of who really controls. Are social media influencers now trying to take the role of journalists by setting the agenda, or are they simply amplifying the existing narrative? I just don't know.
I think it's a wind of change going on, which you cannot stop it easily. But those who knew what they wanted, they still waited for you and I to publish our story to know that this is what we're looking for. Why do people always waited for transmission time of either Deutsche Welle, the BBC, Radio France International? Why do people waited patiently until 10 o'clock to watch AIT?
I think few people do that now. Few people
but
wait
most
patiently
people who want credibility are looking there. When they see stories on the social media, some do reach out to us. Hey, Uwais, I just read this. Is it true? Why do they think Uwais is credible? Why do they think Hajara is credible? Why didn't they believe in them? And this challenge has forced the traditional media to also expand, to open ways of the social media. We now have what we call
online
Mojo.
platforms as well.
Mojo, mobile journalism. With small app which you put inside your telephone, you can easily snap a story, edit, and then send to your editor. Within 2 minutes, you post it. Because we have seen so many dangers in this rushing to break the story.
Exactly.
There was a time when I was covering a story at the Supreme Court. The judge was delivering judgment. Somebody already posted that this is what happened. And the next day, when we went, they called the guy, they put him in the box, warned him, because you have to wait. When they are reading their judgment, you don't know what will be the last statement may nullify the first decision they read. The moment you see them how they are shaking. So they don't control. But because of the issue of the Gen Zs, the youths are always on the social media. They are the ones that are consuming this information. Yes, of course, the traditional media is facing challenge because of the emergence of the citizens journalists. And then this social media, most of them, they are not journalists.
Yes, because a lot of time, viral misinformation has really caused chaos.
It will even, it is beyond chaos.
This situation was mostly caused by so-called social media influencers. And a lot of time, the people, I won't use the masses, a lot of Nigerians, let me use a lot of Nigerians, particularly the youth, they don't really wait to verify information, and then maybe they see it online, they start posting it and it keeps going viral, and before you know, the whole country is in chaos. So they are quick to react to misinformation. And who initially pushed this misinformation? They're actually the social media influencers. That made me to ask, are they really now the one controlling the public narrative, or do journalists still have the power now to control the public narrative?
Journalists still have the power because we are the ones that are professionally trained to do this job. And those who matters, they always wait to see what we are going to publish. And we are we have already started matching the social media influencers by not delaying to publish stories. That is why the magazine is dead. News magazines is dead. Because if you have a weekly magazine, by the time you are publishing, all the stories you are going to publish are already on air. Already on air. So what are you going to publish? So you see how the traditional media, they are also on the move to publish stories. But these mistakes, even the traditional media, there are some instances where they put things wrongly.
And that is because they are trying to meet up
They are
with
trying
the social media
to meet up with the
influencers.
social media. The tradition is, the law says you should have at least 2-3 sources.
So our last question, what are the changes you think, what changes you think are necessary to make journalism in Abuja here particularly more transparent and effective?
There are so many things. You see, when I was in the UK, quite fascinating when I was doing a story, learning journalism. If I need anything with the police, they have a dedicated number. You dial, there is a voice that will tell you all the crime that happens between 6 p.m. yesterday till 6 a.m.
Next day.
And on each story, they will give you a number and the person to call for interview. If we can have that, knowing how important the media is in a democratic setting, that will make your job much easier and faster.
Yes.
Immediately the Nigerian police did something, they should have a dedicated line, which if you call the dedicated line, a voice will be able to tell you what happened and whom you can reach out.
Without
I was looking
so
for
much stress.
the number of blacks that are in Nottingham who are in the British police. The guy told me, how do you want the information? Do you want it written? Do you need a voice? So easy. But imagine you have a story. Yesterday I left my office 10 p.m. I was looking for a balance for a story. The story must go because I was commissioned to do the story. But to get the official balance is so challenging. You call someone who will tell you, oh, we are going to do a press conference tomorrow.
So you wait.
So you should wait, you should leave the story until, because he owns the airwave. He's the one to tell you when you should do a story. So simple. Let us make sure that the FOI Act is working. It is still not working because we don't have the ombudsman. Where do you complain? If you complain, are they taking action to do the right thing? Because when you are denied information, I have the right to walk to AMAC and say, AMAC, give me, how much did the Nigerian government give you? How much did if your money is coming from the FCT minister as a local government, how much do you get it? Do you receive last month? How did you spend it? It's my right.
Yes.
To demand for that. Because I pay my taxes to AMAC. But you go there 100 times, maybe the chairman will not even have time to look and say, what are you asking? And if he denied you, the process of getting it, if you're doing a story that has a deadline, it will become useless by the time you get it.
Stale. Exactly.
It becomes stale.
Exactly.
So that will facilitate. Even attending several conferences, you see, you go to the National Assembly. Do you have a point where you can put your mic or the cable to tap? There should be a long distance where all journalists can just they can tap both audio and video. We ended up putting it on a loudspeaker, which is giving you a horrible back, because sound, when you talk, it hits the wall and then come back and then becomes horrible. So your line manager will say, you went and covered this assignment, why are you bringing me this kind of sound? So if only the government is going to do this, it will make things easy, and the government should set the pace. When they did it, all others will follow.
Yeah, they should lead by example.
Yeah, by example.
Thank you so much, Mr. Uwais. Thank you so much for sharing your beautiful insight.